Occupational English Test. Listening Test. This test has 3 parts. In each part, you'll hear a number of different extracts. At the start of each extract, you'll hear this sound. You'll have time to read the questions before you hear each extract, and you'll hear each extract once only. Complete your answers as you listen. At the end of the test, you'll have 2 minutes to check your answers. Part A. In this part of the test, you'll hear 2 different extracts. In each extract, a health professional is talking to a patient. For questions 1 to 24, complete the notes with information you hear. Now look at the notes for Extract 1. Extract 1. Questions 1 to 12. For questions 1 to 12, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
Morning, Sarah. I'm Dr. Neil Strathmore. I'm a cardiologist, and you've been referred here from the Royal Children's Hospital for some further follow-up. So why don't you tell me a bit about yourself and what's been happening to you?
Well, I was born with a congenital heart, and I've had surgery in 1991 to correct that. And I was also, a pacemaker was also put in, and I've been seeing my cardiologist at the Royal Children's Hospital since then, and now I've come here.
So in 1991, how old were you?
I was 6.
And how old are you now?
I'm 23.
And so you obviously don't remember much about that, but what did your parents say was the problem with you when you had the surgery?
Well, they tried to explain what it was, which was transposition of the great vessels, but basically they told me that I was out of breath, and that's why I couldn't keep up with the other kids, so I was going to have an operation to make me better.
Do you have any memory at all of the surgery or of being in the hospital?
Yes. I remember the nurses, and I remember the playroom, and I remember finding it really difficult to walk after the surgery.
And so do you remember the fact that you weren't able to keep up with other children when you were little?
Not so much, but I remember my lips turning blue and my fingernails being blue and basically going blue when I ran out of breath or running too much.
So after you'd had the surgery, did you only ever have one lot of surgery, or did you have to have repeated operations?
It was just the one in 91.
Good. And so after that, how did you get on in terms of your exercise capacity?
I didn't start off doing too much, but then afterwards I had been doing ballet beforehand, so I continued on with that. And then I picked up some more dancing, and as I got fitter and older, I was doing that quite consistently.
So during your teenage years, how fit were you?
Fairly fit. I was doing about 5 hours of dance a week. So,
gosh, that's quite a lot, really. That would be quite tiring.
It was.
And so have you kept that going since you've left school?
I have, but definitely not as much because I've been busy with uni and things like that.
So how fit are you now?
Probably not as fit as I'd like to be, but I'm still taking classes and walking regularly.
So do you have any symptoms? Do you have any shortness of breath?
No, not really. I try to keep watching other people when I'm in classes and making sure that I'm not more out of breath than they are. But normally when I'm turning around, everyone seems to be as puffed.
So if you walk up a hill or walk up a flight of stairs, do you get short of breath?
A little bit, but not enough to be concerning.
So you think you're about the same fitness of other girls of your age?
I think so.
Okay. Now, what about your health otherwise? Do you have any other health problems?
No.
You've already said your breathing's okay. Do you have any cough or sputum?
No,
Any wheezing or asthma?
not at all.
Your waterworks, do you have any problems with your urine or bladder?
No.
What about your bowels? They're all okay?
Yep.
And your appetite, and you don't get any nausea or vomiting or anything like that?
No.
And do you get any headaches?
Headaches I get every now and then, but I think that's mainly to do with stress.
Okay. Do you smoke?
No.
Alcohol?
Yes.
How much?
Every now and then.
So on an average week, how much would you drink?
It depends. Probably just once a week.
Mm-hmm. And would that be 3 or 4 drinks or more than that?
Probably no more than that.
Okay. What about recreational drugs?
No.
Not at all? Good. All right. Now, do you ever have any pain in the chest?
No, not at all.
Do you notice palpitations where your heart's beating fast?
No.
And have you ever had any blackouts or dizzy spells?
No, not at all.
Do your ankles ever swell up?
No, not that I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Have you had any problems with excessive bleeding or bruising?
I notice I bruise quite easily if I just bump into things, but not enough to be too much of an issue.
Okay. Is there any family history of any heart problems?
No, not at all.
None of your parents or siblings had any congenital heart problems?
Extract 2, questions 13 to 24. For questions 13 to 24, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
Hello there, my name's John and I'm going to be the doctor that's looking after you today.
Hello, John. Nice to meet you. And thanks for seeing me today.
How should I address you?
Just please call me Kevin, yeah. I'm here today because I had a bicycle accident on Sunday morning, and I was wondering if you could check me out. I've hurt my shoulder and my wrist, and I'm just a bit concerned about it.
Okay, Kevin, this is the first time that we've met, I believe.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 53 years old. I'm in pretty good health. I'm about 83, 85 kilograms. Probably could lose a bit of weight. My cholesterol's at lower than average levels by far.
And what about your blood pressure? Is somebody checking that regularly?
Yes, again, fine. If not on the low side, yeah. If anything, I tend to be on the low side of blood pressure and that type of thing.
And you're not on any medications at the moment?
No, nothing.
Are you allergic to anything?
No. Never been allergic to anything. I bicycle regularly about 100 to 150 kilometers a week.
Have you ever smoked?
No.
What about alcohol?
Not too much. I tend not to drink that much at all.
When you do drink, what do you prefer to drink?
Recently, I've been just having New Zealand whites, actually.
Yes. And how many glasses a night would you have?
In a week, 3 to 4. I mean, but that's like 2 on a Friday night and Sunday afternoon, that kind of drinking. It's pretty light, really.
Okay.
I'm conscious of drinking and smoking.
Any history in your family in terms of your mother and father with diabetes or heart attacks?
No, nothing like that. No, yeah, my mother was a heavy smoker. She was a very strong woman, but she smoked a lot. My father also had a bit of heart problems. He ended up having a pacemaker for 30 years of his life. I'm 53 years old. He got a pacemaker at 54, so I'm very conscious of again, staying in shape because of my father's experience. He had that for 30 years.
But it was never that he had a heart attack?
No, it was just simply the heart started. He lived till 84, 85 years old, so perhaps I should tell you one part of my life story. I was in West Africa for several years. Probably the biggest health crisis in my life is living in West Africa for a long time. Have a lot of stomach problems, problems with giardia, malaria, and actually amoebic dysentery. those infections brought my weight down to about 60 kilograms. So just terrible, if you will, diarrhea constantly.
Yeah, and I imagine that you would have required medical treatment for your various conditions as well. Did you spend any time in hospital?
So we used to go to the local embassy and get treated by embassy medical staff. At the time, we were getting 500 milligrams of the anti-malaria medicine chloroquine, and then we had various antivirals and shots, but pretty minimal medical care, to be honest. Yeah, but since then, I've been fine, actually. I've been here in Australia about 20 years and was originally born and raised in the States.
I see. Can you tell me more about the accident?
Yes. Just recently I went over the top of a friend I was bicycling with, went over the top of him and ended up just smashing myself on the asphalt. And
Oh,
it hurt
dear.
my shoulder. Yeah, it's terrible. To be honest, he wasn't paying attention. We had just stopped and they were just getting going again. It was Sunday morning. He slammed on his brakes and then I went over the top of him and then into the traffic, and luckily I pushed both of us out of the way before a car came roaring past. And
Wow, that sounds like quite a large accident. Everybody managed to walk away from it okay?
yeah, we were laughing about it, you know.
You didn't need to call the ambulance or go to hospital for anything at the time?
No, we didn't even think about it. It was, again, we were laughing about it and went to the coffee shop. It was only, you know, as I came home and after the coming home and resting for a while, I realized I was in more pain than normal, if you will.
How long before the pain started to come on?
Right after having coffee, to be honest. I think the adrenaline went down and just coming home and finally kind of reflecting on the whole thing. After the accident, as you know, bicycles have...
That is the end of Part A.